Oak Ridge, Tennessee is a small American town just like any other. They've got a Walmart, a Dollar General, an Aldi, a thermonuclear weapons development site, and 2 McDonald's, and yet from 1942 to 1945, Oak Ridge, which was at the time the 5th largest town in Tennessee, did not exist. And this isn't like how Canada doesn't exist. Oak Ridge actually did exist, but nobody knew about it. In October 1942, the 1,000 or so residents of the area came home to find notes on their doors telling them they had 6 weeks to get out. The government had acquired their land through eminent domain. I'm sure that was a bummer, but too bad. There was a war going on. Wait, are we allowed to make World War II jokes yet? I'm not sure, but I do need to stop Stalin. So, in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, after all the fences and buildings went up in a matter of months, the recruited workers were told next to nothing. All they knew was that their work would end the war. Spoiler alert, it did, because they were building the atomic bomb in what was known as the Manhattan Project. Therefore, the entire 75,000-person town of Oak Ridge, Tennessee was 100% confidential. Not even the vice president knew it existed. When the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, that was the first time that all but a select few individuals even knew such a bomb existed.
So it was such a nice day, I took the bike out and headed over to Oak Ridge. There's a little bit of history on Oak Ridge, pretty interesting, cool little town. This is JB Wines and Spirits. This is a fairly typical little liquor store in Tennessee. They have some really good stuff and some stuff you would not expect in such a small liquor store, but the reason they're still sitting on the shelf is, it's not state run, so it doesn't have to be MSRP. This guy did say he was negotiable, but we'll get over that in a bit. There's good old Wild Turkey standard stuff, and Old Forester. Price is pretty reasonable on all their normal stuff here. So yeah, pretty interesting town, Oak Ridge, set up for the Manhattan Project, and like it said at the start, roped off and everyone needed to shut their mouth. But hey, it worked, and now there's big facilities out here like Y12 and X whatever, big huge buildings, which they still do some government stuff and some non-government stuff. There's a Bardstown Fusion 8. Haven't really tried many of the Fusions, but pretty interested. A buddy of mine's on a bit of a Bardstown kick right now. He just bought a couple of the older ones. We're going to have a bit of a Bardstown night coming up here soon. Got a lot of their collaborative stuff, which is all pretty good. There's Uncle Nearest. Haven't really tried much of that. And then there's that Tennessee stuff, which is like Nelson Greenbrier, I think. A lot of Chattanoogas and the little baby Chattanoogas, which are pretty cute, right? Little mini versions, little 375s. I like 375s, especially when they're in a nice bottle and they haven't really cheaped out. There's some Japanese stuff up here. Hibiki and Yamazaki. 209 on the Yamazaki 12. You can see my other videos. Went to Japan, had a fantastic time, but not a huge fan of Japanese whiskey just because it's like Scotch and I'm just not a big malt fan yet. The Knob Creek and some Smooth Ambler. Smooth Ambler's pretty good. And some of the rye selection, smaller rye selection, but all the mainstays. Bonded rye, all pretty decent pricing on all this stuff. There's that Willet that I love to hate. And some Sazerac. Some looked like it was that banana or frickin' moonshine stuff back there. So this is their sort of somewhat allocated section. This is where they keep their more allocated bottles. They had a couple of Jack Daniels single barrel proofs in there, trying to zoom in. Nothing too high proof. There's that wheated Jefferson's there too, and then Jack Daniels and a HeavenHill 18. Lux Row 4 grain. Now that HeavenHill 18 I was told was $1,000, but it's negotiable. So Secondary on those is running about 500, 550, and you know, MSRP I think is about 300. So definitely the reason it's sitting up there. But you know, there's a lot of stores in Tennessee where you can get almost anything you want, but there's a reason somebody else hasn't grabbed it, and it's either price or, you know, whatever. So comment below how your state does it and what you think is the best way. The Caribou Crossing there, you could probably take $100 off that and I still wouldn't buy it, but it's a cool bottle. You know, 69, 70 bucks for an Eagle Rare. It's above retail, but it's not too bad. But so you get down here, and that 2XO, that's I think about MSRP, and the decal. So they obviously get their allocated stuff that they're not going to see on a regular basis, and they need to mark it up to cover their business costs. And if you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. There's that wheated mash bill from Jefferson's. I hadn't actually seen that before, and see it all over the place now. And some single barrel Russell's Reserve and Larceny. I think that's the new one, the B524. Knob 12. It seems to be out a lot more than it used to be. It used to be really hard to find, and now it seems to be all over the place. And the Knob 10-year rye, another new release from them. Smoke Wagon collection. There's the Christmas one. It's almost Christmas again, so that'll be back in stock. I think I've got a Halloween one somewhere that's just it's their standard stuff. It's not anything like special or anything like that. The Baker's 7 and the Travelers that I don't know if anybody buys. And yeah, they had Weller. So Weller Green Label Special Reserve, $69.99, and 12-year, $149.99, $150. So wow, once again, well above MSRP, but that one is actually a little bit below secondary. You know, secondary you might 180, 200 sort of thing. So not the worst price in the world. And if you wanted Weller 12, it's not like you can just walk into most places and find a Weller 12, right? So yeah, that's that store, and we'll move on to the next one. Still a real nice day out there for riding bikes. Comment who rides bikes. This is Oak Ridge Packaging Store. This one was a really cool little store. Wow, little, it's actually quite big. They had a really eclectic collection of whiskies, bourbons, scotches, a lot more than most stores. I don't think the owner, I believe it was really into the whole allocated side of things. He's just more very eclectic, and this is a place you could really go hunting for some pretty cool obscure bottles. The dude also had massive forearms, like huge farmer guy, fucking long hair farmer dude. Sort of looked like it worked out, but like lifting hay bales, and just had these massive Popeye forearms. Would not attempt to steal bottles. The dude will crush your skull. Anyway, yeah, so some weird old stuff. I don't know why I'm focused in on here. Sometimes my camera doesn't really want to. So there's some spot whiskies. Apparently they're good, and some different sort of Irish and Scotch. But yeah, like this, there's just a bigger whiskey selection than almost any other store that I've been in for a long time. Red Best 21. Now the labels are orange and they're pretty hard to pick up. I did try and zoom in, but as you can see, not great. But you know, I had a whole selection of knob. Everything's packed in here. Like there's a lot of stuff in this store, so you can really go hunting. So that's pretty interesting. I believe I tried that before, and like I say, a lot of stuff's on sale with the little orange tickets. Some was there like a Remus thing there? Some Rabbit Hole and Angel's Envy, different Angel's Envy stuff there. And there's that Willet, yuck, and Willet offshoots. Probably yuck, and probably yuck. Four Roses collection there. Big Boy. And some Whistle Pigs. Some of the stuff was a little bit older than what you would normally see too. So, you know, some of the older collections of bits and pieces. So, yeah, definitely a great store to go in there and wander around. There's all their vodkas and tequilas and white spirits, which we're not here to look at. And there was a bit of a, we zoom down here, it's some of their stuff that's on the ground, large bottles of Elijah Craig and big bottle of Willet. Big plastic bottles, which we'll soon buy. And here's some of their picks and stuff, you know. I think this one here is Knoxville Bourbon Society pick. that I believe a buddy of mine was involved in. And some of these other ones I've seen around, they had like a Decadent sitting there. What's that, $100, which is yeah, pretty decent price and not normally something you would just come across that often. It's pretty good. It's a maple finished, pretty delicious. Jebediah Creek store pick there, I believe. Some big old knobs.
That's what she said.
Always need a big knob. And go past all the crowns and whip around this side. Benchmarks. Really should try Benchmark, right? They're $14. I do want to get the foolproof, so I was considering picking up the foolproof just to see what all the fuss is about. Some Peerlesses over here, a Bushwood Font 9. Peerless, $85. It's all pretty reasonable. Murray Hill Club. And yeah, these Rise, they're pretty interesting too. And the 2XO, they're a single barrel, so they're all very different. Dennis Desmond, what's his name? He's into that and blends it up. Yellowstone, that looks like the Yellowstone special release one. Some of the pretty cool bottles. But yeah, you can just go down here and find all sorts of stuff, like a K-Luke. I don't know what the orange label, it's blended straight bourbon whiskey. So seeing the green label is the rye and the white label, so high and low rye mash bill. So maybe that's just a mix of two different mash bills. Comment below if you know why the K-Luke has an orange label. And New Riff 8, just hanging out down there on the bottom shelf. There's that Jefferson's wheated mash bill. That could be interesting. Go and have a look at this Yellowstone. Yep, special release for limited edition, I guess you say. A very, maybe unlimited limited edition, but big boy knobs. Why not just store pick knobs? They look big. But yeah, this is a really cool store, must stop in Oak Ridge. The guy behind the counter he was awesome. I hope he doesn't take offense, but no, he just seemed to be super knowledgeable about, liquors and bourbons, and yeah, so, and just all sorts of really cool liquors and bourbons here. And I didn't even get over to all the tequilas and stuff, but they had like a extensive collection of that too. There's a Frank August, a number of different Frank Augusts there, and some Mapledens and stuff. So yeah, if you're in the Oak Ridge area, stop at Oak Ridge Packaging Store. Probably one of the best ones. A whole bunch of Doc Swansons. Like, you barely see one Doc Swanson, and there's 4 or 5 different ones just sitting there. Whoa, oh, gimbal action, customer, got to get out of their way. Getting a bit sketch right now, but barrels and just pretty much everything. Garrison Brothers just sitting up there, and Kentucky Owls. Not just one, but like 4 or 5 of them. So anyway, this was a fantastic store. I had a great time wandering around and talking to everyone in there. So if you're in the Oak Ridge area, definitely, this is a definite stop. So this is Turnpike Liquors, just up the road from the packaging store. At the packaging store, I did pick up a CNF Kentucky Spirit. I hadn't seen the CNF one around for a while, so it was good to get that. Looks like they're doing a bit of construction in the front here, but plenty of parking around this building, so let's go and see what they got. Jack Daniels. I think I walked down the aisle and sort of coming back. I always hide the Jack Daniels back there. This is Sinatra. They are much more available than they used to be, and the same price that they've been for like 5 years. There's the new Founders, the 12th. I got so burnt on the 11th that I haven't actually tried the 12 yet, but I should give it a go because Chattanooga can normally be good. There's Nelson Brothers. They make all that stuff, including that other one, the Tennessee one there. And there's a Michter's, Davis County. Good old Forester Whiskey Row. Yep, can't go wrong there with 1910 or 1920. If you don't know what else to grab that. And if you like the higher proof, get the 1920. And if you like something a little bit lower proof, get the 1910. But both can't go wrong. And if you get both of them, you can mix them together and make a 1915, which is even better. And here's some Bardstown Discovery. A good rule of thumb is if it's got Tennessee in it, I don't like it as much. I'm not saying it's bad, they're all great, but the ones that are without the Tennessee just seem to hit a little bit better. There's that 8-year-old New Riff, And some Heaven's Door, scanning through here pretty quick. Whoa, special. Pursuit United, that's some good stuff, man, especially their double oaked. If you can, they haven't really released it fully yet, but they have a double oak bourbon and they've just released a double oak rye at the distillery, and they are both amazing. Could be one of bourbon of the year, top 10 bourbons of the year for me so far. So some bullets, which not been a big fan of even their 12-year-old stuff. Looks like some ryes. The store was pretty good. Some Green River down there. There's the foolproof that's pretty damn good, and the benchmark that I need to really try one of these days. Comment below if you think I should try a benchmark. And would it be a foolproof, or a single barrel, or a bonded, or a top floor, or a small batch? And probably might not be 8. And if I don't like it, I will give it away. Some Baby Jane's, that's using that new stuff. There's all Popcorn Sutton. Popcorn! Classic guy. Check him out, look him up. This store had like a cabinet at the front, and they had a bunch of stuff in there. I didn't save the video because it was super glary and I just could only really see myself, but I did pick up the new Jack Daniel's Distiller Series, which is a double-barreled rye, which is like, I think you can watch one of my other videos about how damn good that is. I've already got 2 of them, but I think I needed 3 of them because I'm halfway through the first one. So yeah, it's a Tennessee only thing, so if you're not in Tennessee you might not be able to find it, but you should come to Tennessee and you should buy as many as you can. They're $3.75 and I think it was about $42, so yeah, pretty decent and delicious. Just as good as their 2023 special release. Some people even say better. It's a higher proof. It's 107 proof versus 100, and just delicious. So yeah, these were the 3 stores in the secret city of Oak Ridge. Not so much a secret anymore. And there's a few other ones I think I didn't make it to, but it was time to go home. So camera down, and definitely time to go home. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bourbon Fest next week. Hopefully see some people out there. Hey, thanks.